That Abdul, nobody understood you. Abdul.
Yes, Steve.
Can you repeat what you just said since nobody understood you?
Okay, I think we can use on secondary, no problem. And if there's some problem, then we can change, no problem.
All right, old secondary and new secondary.
New secondary. Just do this normal new secondary hangout. It's
Okay,
not
new
be
secondary.
complicated. The secondary hangout is just like the automatic. You know, if there's a problem with it, then we can figure it out.
Can we separate so we begin the session? I think we just.
You guys haven't already separated?
I'll go to secondary.
I think Steve was just gonna load. Like James. Let's go. Thanks. Can continue now.
Oh, cool. So this is good. So I put at the top of the link here, and let me try to log on to the other secondary hangout, see if they could hear both of us at the same time.
Okay.
Oh no, it won't let me do it. It's not gonna work. So right now we're in the main hangout, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
let me try over here. Just do this temporarily. So over time, we'll get better at doing the double. But someone should make a list of who's on each team. And I put at the top, I put links to both sessions.
And I've been going since 9 in the morning, so it's been a long day.
Yeah.
Where are you, Eileen?
Come again?
Where are you?
Yeah, it sounds like they're just checking in. So, so quarter moon session, and then wait, can you guys see my screen?
No.
Here we go. So has anyone started making a list of the people on each session? So attendance.
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Thank you. So. So at the top of the here, I have the duplicate notes for main hangout group. And so this is our notes here in case you want our own separate notes for any reason. And we can copy and paste things back and forth. But the main thing we need to do is set up the, so I'm gonna help facilitate here, and then we need, so I'm gonna be what's called the umbrella facilitator for both groups, right? And then we need someone to step up and help we need primarily the most important thing is a runner, right? And then also a a secondary facilitator. We have one. And this is more optional. So we need at least one runner though. So either someone needs to step up and be a runner, or we can just.
Yes, Jay, I think I can be a runner.
Okay, Abdul, great. So the most important thing to understand about the runner position is that you would be the second in line for facilitator, and then in the other group we have whoever we have James, and then we have their runner, whoever their runner is. Cool, yeah. So let's see here. And so Abdul, you would be telling James what to do, and sometimes you need to talk to their other runner person. I guess technically their runner is above, but let's see.
Okay, Jay.
Abdul. And who's helping out with note taking? Albina?
Yes.
Great. And we have a timekeeper. Do we have a timekeeper?
I'll be the timekeeper, Jay.
Okay. And video indexing?
Yes. I'll do it, Lucy.
Lucy can do it? Okay. Wait, is there anyone from your Africa who's in the other group?
Your Africa? We have James there.
Okay, good.
I
Hi, Asif. How are you doing?
I can also
am good, sir.
be the umbrella facilitator.
Say again?
I can also help you with the facilitation.
You could be the secondary facilitator.
Yes.
Cool. So the secondary facilitator is the one who, when I go as the umbrella facilitator to the other group, then that would mean that Lucy would take over here. Okay, that makes sense?
Okay.
Yeah. Sweet. So Abdul, the first thing you can find out who's going to be their runner that they would send over here. Okay, Abdul?
Yes.
And
Okay.
so you want to make sure two things. One, that they know that they need to choose a runner, and two, that we're doing check-ins, and that as soon as we're done with check-ins, we'll all connect for a bit and get on the same page. Okay?
Okay. Yes.
Oh, what is this? James, I thought you were the facilitator. I thought you were the main facilitator. All right, so let's check in. Who wants to check in? Asif, you want to check in?
Yes, actually, I'm extremely excited about this session as I'm, awakened from the last night. Didn't have a sleep proper. And yeah, I'm, I have a nice session ahead, so I'm on 7 now. Thank you.
I don't know. Great. Okay. Albina, were you helping with notes or not?
I'm taking, I don't know the doc you're using. This one for the quarter one.
But we're on the
Maybe
main.
I'm using a wrong doc.
Yeah, we have two none. So you just copy it to the other one. That'd be great. We hear everything
Okay,
you're
don't
saying.
have the other one you copied. I think that's
Weird.
why.
Yeah, even when it doesn't, you can
Yeah,
see it.
because I'm writing notes on the other one. Kindly share with us so that I write at the right place.
So the other group says that they're hearing everything that we're saying over here. I have no idea how they're doing that since I'm obviously not in their session. Do you see?
Then can you share with us the doc, please, the copy you made on the bottom?
Oh, well, it's just copy. It's like right here at the top. Duplicate notes for main Hangout group. Right there.
Okay.
Yeah, I said that. So you can go back and forth as needed. I'll even separate it a little bit. That's clear. And at the top of our, this docket has that. And anyways, you don't 100% need to have two separate sets of notes, but I think it is helpful.
Permission.
Permissions.
No access to this one. We need permission.
Okay. Yes, but I think generally speaking, it's helpful to have two sets of notes. You have your phone on. No. No. No, I don't think so. Yeah, I'm gonna turn my phone on for a second, see what happens. You seem to be having technical difficulties. Hello? It's obviously going through network community. It's going through Abdul, of course. Abdul is listening to the video in the background. Did you fix it, Abdul?
Yes,
Abdul is not there.
Abdul, you're not here, are you?
It's not here, Abdul.
Okay.
I'm on second day now.
Okay, tell me if that helped at all, Steve, okay?
That's okay.
All right, hopefully that worked and solved the problem. Okay, so who do we have here? We've got, we did Asif, right? Yes, it did. Great. Yeah, the problem was Abdul. Okay, so sorry about that. Lucy, you want to check in?
Yes. Hello, guys. I'm happy to join this quarter moon session, and I'm at 6.
Thomas? Thomas, you there? I think you're muted.
Yes.
Okay, I'll check in next. I'm doing pretty well. I'm definitely very, very, very tired. It is the middle of the night for me. Middle of night. But I'm here. I'm probably like a 5, 5.5. And but I'm also very excited about this session. I would love to get through this in like an hour, but it's probably going to be like 2 hours. But I think we're going to get through a lot of good stuff, and it should go perfectly fine. Check. All right. Are you here? Did we lose you? What happened?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, Jay.
You want to check in?
Yep, I'm so excited for this session today, and I'm looking forward for today's topics and what we are going to learn about today. So for me, it's 5.
Albina?
Okay, I'm also grateful for the session. Just finished the weekly session. An hour ago, and I'm strong to go through the whole session. The quarter, I'm at 6.
Great. Cool. Is that everyone? So Lucy, Albina, Thomas, Asif, myself. Cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 5 of us. This is a perfect number. If we get another person, that's also perfectly fine. But let's make sure we have this all correct here. So we have Albina, Lucy, Thomas, Jay, and Abdul. We'll let Abdul check in when he comes back. And then we have Asif. So 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Abdul. Okay. So let's add Abdul down here as well. And so what you guys will notice is that it's just great having 5 people instead of 10 because you get so much more time to talk and interact. It's just way better. Okay, so now we're gonna go through our desired outcomes. But let me make sure they know we just finished check-ins. Okay. So I'm not sure why Abdul isn't back yet. Not sure why Abdul isn't back yet. Desired outcomes. For me, the main desired outcome is getting our buddy team sessions organized and maximizing efficiency, productivity, and coordination. Helping get our buddy teams. So that's my main outcome for tonight. Can someone link the notes from earlier today? Do we have those? Oh, Stranger, here it is. I got it. So I'm gonna link these notes here. So any other desired outcomes? So obviously we're also going to be practicing having dual sessions. Practicing having dual sessions. Or dual groups for our session. So that's definitely going to be new territory. Anyone there? Do you guys have a runner yet? So we obviously have major problems already, is that we lost our runner and they're not talking to us. We still don't have their runners. That's 3 sets of problems that are going to cause endless confusion and no way to communicate or be successful as a dual group. Does that make sense, or should I explain that more, or what? Is anybody here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I asked like 4 or 5 questions. I just hear silence. If that keeps happening, I mean, I'm just gonna go to bed. It's like not worth my time, you know? So like I just said about how much of a problem it is that we've lost our runner, they haven't provided a runner, and no one's communicating.
Yeah, I think we need to have another runner to replace Abdul because we cannot work without a runner.
Yeah. So anyways, that we'll send Lucy if to see what's going on if necessary. But let's just finish this part up real quick. Topics.
Okay. Should I go there now and see what is going on there?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to go right now, you can. But I think that we could give them 1 more minute. But it's weird that they're not responding at all. I don't know. I guess, yeah, just go over and just find out. I mean, I did say exactly what I asked Abdul. All I asked Abdul to do, it should take, 1 minute. I asked him to go over there, tell them that we were doing check-ins, that as soon as we're done with check-ins, just let us know, and that we'll all, get on the same page. And that's pretty much it. And then who the runner is. That's all we need to know, and it should take a minute. Okay, Lucy?
I think Lucy has gone.
Well, that's pointless. If she doesn't know what she's doing, then she can't go. So maybe we should send Albina and or someone else, and then Lucy, just tell Lucy to come back.
Okay. Let me go.
Albina, can you bring Lucy back here? So that
I'm here, I'm back because
back.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let us.
Lucy?
Yes.
So what happened?
I don't know the hangout they are in. I was checking for all hangout. I know they are. I don't know which one are there. That's why I come back to find out the hangout there.
Aren't they in the secondary hangout, the new secondary hangout? Did you go to that one?
I go to the old one.
Well, go.
No, they are using the new one.
Of course, that's always the new one. Okay, so I mean, does anyone have any other desired outcomes?
I don't have to. For me, I don't have J.
Okay, so here are the topics I have. The first one's recruitment. Recruitment. And then from there, we have a proposal for recruitment. I think this could probably go like 10 minutes would be good.
Yeah.
Review the monthly goals would be good. That could take like 10 minutes. He's doing what? Quinton, preparation and position description. Oh, and for this, we need the link to the new moon session, the most recent new moon session. Quinton, preparation, position. Oh, this could take like 20 minutes plus. Level 4 schedule. I think we're pretty close to this. I think we're almost done with that already. Maybe we can skip that.
Yeah, I think Abdul is here.
Oh, great. Hey, Abdul.
Hi, Jay.
Do you have anything to report back?
Yeah. Check-in is almost done.
Oh, you guys are still checking in? Wow. Okay. So, Abdul.
Yeah, Jay.
Are you doing recording?
No, I don't recording. I just I am staying on both Hangout.
No. You don't stay on both Hangouts. So you're either on this group or you're on that group, but you're not on both.
Okay.
So Abdul, you need to choose right now. Are you going to be in our group or are you going to be in their group? Like, you either need to stay here or you need to leave. You can't do what you're doing right now. Hello, Abdul.
Yes, Jay.
You need to either stay here and get off the other group, or you need to leave this group immediately. What you're doing right now is not acceptable.
Okay.
So stop. Either leave or just do something. Just stop. Like, it's not okay. Like Abdul, please leave. Leave, Abdul. Go away. Thank you.
Hello.
Hi, Lucy. So just so everybody knows, when you're a runner, you're not allowed to be in multiple sessions at the same time. That's not what you're supposed to be doing unless it's like requested by the facilitator. That just causes chaos because we can't hear anything. Lucy, what's up? Anything to report back?
Yeah, that through the desired outcome, the noun topics. Priority topics.
What are their desired outcomes?
Desired outcome.
What are their desired outcomes?
I did not see the screen. They just told me that through the desired outcome.
They were supposed to tell you their desired outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a runner?
So that you come and play with us.
Do they have a runner?
They didn't even say if they have the run.
Did you ask them?
I did not ask.
Okay, so do you want to try someone else? Who wants to practice being a runner?
I can practice that, Jay.
Okay, so being a runner is very simple. You do exactly what you're told, nothing more, nothing less. You're going to go over to the other hangout. You're going to not be in this hangout. You're going to ask them who is the other runner, and if not, you stop the entire meeting. You force the entire group to choose what runner they're going to choose, and then you come back over here. It's that simple. You are the primary facilitator of the other group. James is under you, right? So I'm the umbrella facilitator, and then it's Lucy, and then you're the runner, and so and then James is under you. So you go in there and you tell everyone to stop. They have to listen to you. If they don't listen to you, then there's a bigger problem. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah.
All right. So now I'm gonna try to put a message over here into the quarter moon one, but obviously they aren't getting it. So our new runner is Thomas, and so go give it a try.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So basically, like, the runner, are you still here, Thomas? I guess So the runner is the when you go over to another group, right? The dual group, the other group is under the runner, right? So the runner is the highest level facilitator in the other group. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if I leave as the umbrella facilitator and go over to the other group, it would automatically reverse immediately. So I would go over there, then their runner would then be in control of this group. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. So, and it's just like facilitation stuff, but we'll get better at it over time. But at any group, when we have the public involved, they can always, decide not to be part of the runners and everything. But it's we're just gonna do it. All right. So we have another proposal for Asif's pay. We've got the tax forms. We have to value tracking. Let's put a bunch of stuff on that. And then this is the most important part, is the systems and BuddyTube coordination. This is what I want to get to. This could take like 20 minutes as well. What's the other one? The senior manager. These are both very important. So I would put the value tracking afterwards, because that is not changes. Cool. I think this looks pretty good. How do you guys like these topics?
For me, I agree with the topics.
Topics are cool enough,
So we're good on the topics. Any concerns? Any objections? All right, let's check and see if they have anything different. I'm still not seeing anything here. I mean, my question is this even like their notes that they're using? I really don't even know. Here, I'll send the link to our notes here. Link to our notes. Please send. Oh, what? Oh, no, this is our, yeah. Seconds. Cool. Awesome. All right. So, shall we get started with our first topic?
Come up again.
Actually, before we get started with the first topic, let's see if we can try to get them to check in. Because this is very odd. So I'm going to give this a try and see if we can get everybody on the same page. I think they said they were done with check-ins, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let me give this a try. Hello?
So can I go on main?
So, James, okay, so Abdul is the run of the group?
Yes.
Okay, so, and what's your desired outcome?
Our desired outcomes are to vote on the proposals that need to be voted on, to discuss new items and topics that are in the agenda that I went over with Jay earlier today.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you guys have? I'm here.
All right. Since we need to get the same things across, what we basically did was pull your topics, and I'm going to work off of your topics from the other one. Because we need to get the same information out.
Of course. And just to make sure you guys all know is that I can be talking to both Hangouts simultaneously and everybody can hear. It's not a problem.
That's fine. I can do that also if I call in on my call, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But, like this, it's fine. We were hearing the whole conversation, everybody talking before. That's why it was so disturbing,
I know, of course.
It sounded like they were with us. It sounded like you were with us, and like, I'm trying to talk and to check in, and I can't hear anything because all we hear is the first hangout.
Okay, but who is the facilitator?
James and I together.
Okay, well that's not how we do these types of multi groups. We always have one facilitator per group, so that would be one person, and then you can have a second facilitator if you want, and then you need a runner, or you just need a runner and a facilitator.
We have Abdul is our runner. James is the main facilitator. I'm co-facilitating with James.
Okay, so
we have a note taker, we have a timekeeper, we have everything going.
Okay, so where are the notes that you guys are looking at?
We have the only notes that you have now are check-ins.
Okay, so you didn't write down any of the desired outcomes? Okay, that's fine. So basically what I want to make...
Can I help them taking notes? Maybe.
No, just stay here.
Hold on. Desired outcomes are done. They're not finished, but they're mostly done.
That's fine. So if you could just listen to me for like a minute. Okay, so Thomas, you can go back to the other Hangout because I can take care of this, and then we'll be ready to just go. So basically, all I want to share here is that the order of the the dual session. So what you have here is you have umbrella facilitator, which is me. Then you have our runner, so main group runner, which is Thomas. Then you have the secondary group runner, which is Abdul. Then you have James. who is the group facilitator, right? Does that make sense? And then you have basically helping James is Steve. You have like as a helper or co-facilitator, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just making sure everyone understands. So our first topic is going to be the recruitment. So with the recruitment, we have a proposal. The proposal is to shift the public rankings and then actively recruit based on the budget every week. And so, for example, if we have a budget of the Austrasia session of $1,000 a month for Austrasia, it would be 500 for week 1, 500 week 2, and we would alternate. And then every group would get 2 weeks. So that's the proposal, and that's going to be our first topic.
All right, I was at the last meeting. That's our first topic also. And if you wait 5 minutes, we'll have a vote.
Yeah, all right, we're good. I'm going to be back later as needed, or we'll send Thomas.
We're using the same topic list you are, so
yeah,
you know.
Got it. We're good.
We're right about the same place as each other.
Perfect.
So, goodbye.
All right, dude. See, we're all on the same page now. How good is that?
Good.
Okay, so overall,
Can you link the record video?
Oh, I didn't do it.
For video indexing?
Let's see here. Did I do that here? No, I didn't. Okay, so and this is part of where multiple video indexing comes necessary to have 2 separate groups. Like, I don't know if they're actually doing video indexing or even a recording. If you could send a message, Thomas or Lucy, on Slack and just ask, or just remind them to make sure someone's recording over there.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah, but you don't need to go over there and you know, break up their communication. Just send a quick Slack. It should be more than enough.
Okay.
All right. All right. So then video indexing is here. Boom, there's that. And then it says that we are in minute 37. So if you do 45 minus 37, 45 minus 37 is 8. So we started at 2:08. So started at 2:08 p.m. Australia time. All right. So recruitment. Any questions on recruitment?
Oh, you
Okay, for me, I
explained
don't have a question.
you explained it very clearly, so it is, you know, very much clear to me.
So there's no questions?
Not yet, James, from my side.
Okay, let's see if we can clarify the proposal a little bit so it's a little cleaner. So proposal is basically, it's basically that we set a limit to the number, to the amount of time that new recruits can join. And I think we're saying 2 weeks. I think that's correct. You know, but yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten a message that they are doing a video recording.
Oh, great. That's cool.
Yep.
So I think we should add to this, just as a minor thing, that we can be flexible and make changes as needed, right? So every team can be flexible, but that overall we give new recruits 2 weeks, and then we move on to the next group.
Okay, so the new recruit, is the recruitment done, or we are doing some recruitment?
Say again?
Is the recruitment done, or we need to do the recruitment again?
We have lots of recruitment to do.
Okay.
So what was it? What's the question?
For which part of Euro Africa or Pacific or that one?
Right now we focus on
Australasia.
Australia. Our priorities are
And
East
East Pacific.
Pacific is our number one priority, and actually local headquarters. I guess we'll just put them together in local HQ. Then we have West Atlantic, Australasia,
Yeah.
Central Asia, and then last is near Africa.
Africa.
Cool.
So how many people per each?
Say again?
How many people? How many recruits in each session?
It's not really a number of people; it's a budget. So the more well, yeah, it just depends. It's just all based on the
Yeah,
budget.
it's also depends. Maybe when we
So-
invite, not all of them will turn up, so we cannot approximate the number. We just have to recruit more of them.
Yeah.
Those who will turn up, then we go by that number.
Okay.
And I think the main one is Pacific. That's the priority one.
Yeah, for the locals, we can help.
Yeah.
And it's not just local, it's also the Pacific session itself. Oh, here it is. Okay, here's the new recruits and budget spreadsheet. Right here. So again, our goal is just passing the proposal. We don't need to go through recruitment in detail. But this is the budget. This is the recruitment budgets. So like, let's say we have a recruitment budget of 1640 for Australia. We have only hired like 1 or 2 people, so we're using a fraction of the money that we budgeted, right? So we're not too worried about the budget being high, but basically what we're planning on doing is breaking it out into 1-2 week segments, right? So the only other component about this is that you can break out the 2 weeks into 2 separate 1 week segments and be able to go to a new list of recruits every week. So if we're able to do that, that would be pretty cool when we're actively recruiting. Anyway, let's make sure that the other group has this in their notes. There you go. Looks like it's pretty good. Looks like they already did it. All right, so any other questions about the proposal? Albina, do you want to vote? Lucy, you guys want to vote?
Okay, for me, I wanted to ask, we did the invitation for those members. Can we resend them the invitation again for those who did not turn up, or we go to the other list of the new ones?
Well, basically what this would mean is that let's say we do, let's say we have $1,000 recruitment budget, right? I would say like week 1, we could do $500, right? And then if they don't respond in a week, then you can send them another email, right? And then week 2 would be another $500. And then at the end of week 2, week 1 would be cut. And then week 3 would be the same $500 from week 1. So if at the end of week 2, from week 1 we got $300, week 3 would be $200. That makes sense? All right, like here, I'll write that down. So let's say if week 1 we got $300, or let's say $250 of recruits, then week 3 would be $250. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So then we keep reducing the budgets until we get the people that we are expecting to get.
Okay, fine.
Yes. And technically speaking, maybe
Jay, this
250. would cut it in half, but yeah. What?
Yeah, Jay, this is Australasia. So Austra means Australia and Asia, right?
Yes. It's specifically
Okay,
it would
so
be
what if
it would be East Australia. Eastern Australia,
Australasia.
right? So it's
Okay.
Australia and Oceania.
Right. What if I'm having a community, not community, some relatives or friends in Australia? Can I poke them? Can I send them the invitation?
I mean, you can invite whoever you want to, but again, we haven't done the public outreach yet. But if you know somebody wants to get involved, they're certainly welcome to do that. And we just, need help to get organized so that we can invite even more people. I mean, there's a lot of people who are already involved, who we just don't know we're active because we're not sending any messages out, So we need to do our public launch and get organized, and anyone who can help us do that would be great.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you also link the
But again, it's the whole
website
world.
that we can use?
The what?
I saw that some website that Zillow using for East Pacific. If you want to do some recruit,
I mean,
do you have those
I don't know.
websites?
I have no idea what's going on with that. I mean, it's not doing anything. We also have like the new recruitment email group and everything, so that like Zilu or Abdul needs to like make sure all those emails are linked through the communication stream so that we're not getting any information from that. And we don't even know if it's working. So it hasn't really been thought through. He just did it on his own, so it's not really coordinated. But you can talk to him about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there is the new email. I think it's workers at fqn.unity.mo. So any emails should go through this email, and just CC this email, and then you can also use this email for new accounts and things like that. And I think it's the P code is like COM47 or something like that. All right, so can we vote, or do you guys have other questions about the proposal itself? Because these questions have nothing to do with the proposal.
Okay then.
Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Yep.
I'm voting yes. Albina?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't have any question. I understand about the recruits. So I'm better to go to the next topic.
We're voting. We're voting on the proposal.
Yes, a big yes.
Okay, so that was Albina. Lucy?
Yes.
Okay, and Thomas?
For me, I vote yes.
All right, sweet. Let's see if they did any voting. That's really odd. Now recording, okay, but not able to turn second hand. All right, so Thomas, you can let them know that we passed the proposal, and they should let us know if they passed theirs. Or you
I just sent them the message or I got to their hangout.
What?
I just sent the message or I got to their hangout.
Either way, just make sure you get confirmation. So if you send it on Skype, just make sure they send a confirmation that they received it.
Okay.
Cool. And Abdul,
you can also go
or
there.
you can send a message directly to Abdul. Abdul's their runner, so you're supposed to be communicating with Abdul. Does that make sense? So just send a message to Abdul.
Okay.
All right. So let's see. What's our next topic? Monthly
next
goals.
topic.
Ooh, and here we have the new moon session.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Review the monthly goals.
Yeah, view the monthly goals.
All right. So the new moon session should have them. Let's see how you guys did on that. Sonic team priorities. Sonic team priorities. So you guys just did Sonic team priorities?
Sonic team, yeah, those are Sonic team priorities.
Did you guys have any new priorities?
No.
So there was no, you guys didn't actually create any goals for the month?
Yeah, I think we put it on Euro Africa.
Euro Africa?
We have some new goals during Euro Africa. We discussed there.
Okay, Jay, they have also passed the proposal.
Oh, great, cool. All right, well, so I mean, it sounds like there were no monthly goals from the new moon session. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Does anyone would question that?
No.
Okay, so the main number one thing you guys were supposed to do at the new moon session, you guys didn't do. So just note that for future reference. In the context of what we could do now is that we want to focus on updating the plan and narrowing our focus, right? So Thomas, if you could tell the other group, basically that we're going into reviewing the goals, but that there are no goals from the previous session. So we're going to do two things. One, we're going to look at the previous goals from the month before, and then also compare them with the other goals that have been in existence. And then what we want to do is we want to narrow them down and just pick like well, no, I don't want to just say that there's no goals. That's not what I said. I said that there's the previous goals from the new moon session before that, and then we're also going to use the goals of the Sonic team and any other goals that are in any other team, but we want to narrow it down, the focus, to just like the minimal, like what is the minimal goals that we can have. You know, like the top. So the question is more of what we won't do.
So I got their hangout. I tell them that.
Okay, thanks, Thomas.
Good.
All right, so can someone get the link to the previous quarter moon session? That'll be super helpful.
Okay. Let me check.
Nice. And then we want to do here is pull up some of our Australia session. We had some pretty good goals here, and then we'll look at the Sonic session goals. So this would be what we do want to do. Yes, do want to focus on minimal essentials. And this is, you know,
I think what section is there. They just leave there.
All right, so the rest of this is basically important, but not as essential. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the question is, what can we not do? That's the question. All right, so, or not necessarily focus on. And then we have these Sonic priorities. So let's go through these Sonic priorities. Overall priorities. So overall priorities are like essential, right? We have to do the overall priorities. Possibly near the top. Finances and taxes, check. Finances and taxes, check. Client relations. Where do we put that? So client relations needs to happen, but we keep slipping through on it. Maybe we could, maybe it's not as essential. I don't know. EXA client relations, EXA umbrella finance report. This is essential. It must happen. You can't not do that. Worker coordination, check. Recruitment, check. Payroll. Payroll is not an option. We have to do payroll. Value tracking, we could probably get away with that. Worker training. Okay, so all the rest of this is basically all bottom stuff. Just here. Does everyone think that's pretty good breakdown, or?
Hello, Jay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I've gone to their Hangout, but they have told me that their Hangout has a problem.
Yeah.
So they are moving to the fourth Hangout.
Okay.
And they have passed the proposal.
Cool.
And now they are going for the new one session.
Okay, but you told them about how we are focusing on the minimal, most important essentials.
Yeah.
All right. So I would say
I've briefed them on that.
Let's get rid of that. I would say this is a pretty good list. How do you guys like this list? You guys have anything to add to it? I mean, come on, you guys got to think of something.
What I need, everything is there, especially EXA umbrella and finance and taxes, recruiters.
So I mean, it's just 8 things. If we could do those 8 things, it would be pretty sweet. The other things I want to add that are important but not as essential is definitely UMBUS, which I don't know if we're going to get into too much today. And this is the umbrella business. Umbrella business. Client relations. The client relations is actually more important than that, for sure. Documentation, cool. So if we could just get these 8 things done, I think we'd be in pretty good shape. Personnel support. Maybe I'll say, like, here, we could say one thing about the client. So this would be the 9th one, is client work categories. So there's documentations here. So EXA documentations. Right, we have EXA finance. EXA legal. EXA value tracking. The general contracting. General operations. And then we have some personal taxes. So Vienna, Zach, Easy, Anya, and I think that's pretty much it. There might be one other one. Cool. All right.
Vienna.
So does anyone, that's the V and Z. Does anyone else want to sign up for any of these things and help make sure that they happen? Let's look at the overall priorities real quick. Where's the overall priorities doc? I'm going to go to the full team doc. Is anyone checking in on time? Do you have time on this?
For that 10 minutes.
This has 20 minutes. Worker recruitment. EXA responsibilities, finance and taxes, board candidate elections, court case. Organize.
Jay, we are having a whole minute on this topic.
We have what?
We have 4 minutes for this topic more.
Okay, cool, thanks. So just checking one last thing. Oh, treasurer support and payroll. Huh. That would be under finances. That's okay. EXA house. Yeah, we got to add the house in potentially. Well, let's wait on the house. They haven't paid us yet. Client relances, finance and taxes, exit budget, governance, write-up, exit taxes, master ledger, manual blocks. Cool. All right. Wait, legal contracts, trust, ETS, ECSA, executive board preparation, coordination. We missed that one. So there's exit coordination. Okay, so the only other thing I'll put here is that there's basically exit overall. So this would be me. So every single other one of those, it would be, this is the overall manager, right? Every single one of these sub-contexts here needs its own manager. And even these ones need their own managers as well. So these will be called client manager positions. And with exit, because we have this umbrella management, it's actually, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sub-managers, and then there's the overall manager. And then you have liaisons. And the proposal for now is that Jorge would be our liaison. But I think we're gonna wait on that. But do you guys understand what I'm saying here as far as these positions?
Yep.
Yes.
I'm gonna put this into the other one here. All right. So we need people to sign up for all this stuff. Like, I'm not sure how to get you guys interested in actually doing it and signing up for it. But that's the next step here, is to get people to just, you know, sign up for it. Like, we have Benji here. He wants to help up with the umbrella finance report, but that's it. All right, Lucy, helping with some worker coordination. And then we have voting forms. That was the new one from today. Payroll, Julie, it's good. Client worker categories. This needs all people to sign up for everything here.
Can sign up for Exa Finance.
Me too, Exa Finance.
Lucy, Albina.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And these
I also
are,
want to try Exa value tracking. I think I'll also check on Nelly to teach me on that.
okay, so I guess we need to do a couple things here. Like, let me look back at the at our plan here. So we need the types of work, and these are types of positions, right? So we need to go over some of the positions, but basically, like, these are actual positions. These are client management positions, right? So I can try to.
Okay. Thank you.
So we have positions, client manager position. Okay, so basically, you know, we need to consider who might be the right positions for these, right? And then we all have to agree on them. And these are important positions that we would be assigning to people. So it's like, oh, I want to, you know, do a little more of this and that. It's not really exactly what we're talking about. And I'll try to make it a little clearer, but you know, maybe we should do it with everybody and go over the positions together. Did I just hear Steve?
Yeah,
It was Abdul just entered. Then
Oh, hey, Abdul. What's up?
he's gone. He's gone.
yes, go.
Oh, he disappeared. Okay, so anyways, I think that this would be a good time to go over positions. If we could slip that into the agenda. Let's see if it fits. So the next topic would be the Quinton position. Oh yeah, so this is perfect timing. Okay, so we were going to move up the types of work, and we're going to go through positions. So we're going to go through types of work and list of positions. Okay.
Yep.
So let's change that, and then let's also put that over here. And then and I think it would be ideal to go through this together because there's no decision, it's just information. So Thomas, could you go over there and then basically report back when they're ready to kind of all connect together, and they're on 4th Hangout, right?
So when are they ready to connect together? What does it?
Yeah, just ask them when they'll be ready to, you know, for us to jump in, right? And then I'm going to just talk to both groups simultaneously.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right, so then I need to get a couple things here. We have a list of positions. Okay. So you guys sure you don't have any other anything you guys want to sign up for at all? Like, we were getting close there. Which ones, Lucy, you said you might be interested in?
Exa Finance.
Okay, Exa Finance. This would be Lucy. Anything else? And Albina, you also said you were interested in this too, Albina.
Yes.
Is anyone else interested in anything? I guess I could be.
I was seeing when I'm tracking, but you see these are positions, so if someone is allowed to try to.
Yeah, all of these are positions.
Okay.
And I'll explain exactly what the client manager position is, but let's wait till we get everybody. But the main thing is basically it's basically an organizing position, right? Organizing position. Okay, so let me see if I can find the positions real quick.
What's the difference of Exa coordination and Exa general operations, Jay?
Coordination is like executive support, etc., right? Whereas general operations is just like deal with whatever comes our way.
Hello, Jay.
Yeah.
Okay, they uploaded me. They are ready. You can connect them.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna connect into the 4th Hangout real quick. All of us on here, and we'll see how it goes.
We need to monthly goals. Bring FQN value tracking up to par. FQN value tracking. Our own value tracking.
Oh yeah, that's super important. Steve's talking about needing to do FQN value tracking. Needs to be way higher.
Okay, but
Where,
I guess that's about it. I mean, there are a lot of goals, but I mean, I don't know, which ones they want to do, which ones, goals. It's a matter. Goals are a lot of opinion, My goals might not be Jay's goals, and team.
I guess the only reason that I leave
what I got there
the FQN value tracking down below here is because it's like,
I can just add from.
we could technically move on without doing that, even though it's not good to not do that. But so, are you guys ready to move on?
Hello, Jay.
What do you want to know?
The next topic would be going and doing a training on positions, what all the positions are, and then lastly, training on the actual senior manager position.
All right.
Do you want to just do that together real quick?
Yeah, that way.
Go ahead.
Are you guys ready?
Yes, we are.
Okay, cool. So I did overhear you guys saying that you thought that this FQN value tracking was really important. So we kind of have 3 sets of goals here. We have our minimal essentials that we have to do, and these are the top 9, including all the client categories. And we're going to be talking about all these management positions. So these are all client management positions that need to be filled. And we have these positions here that we'll be talking about in a second. And then we have like, you know, important but not essential, sort of like these middle ground ones that just need to happen, like client relations, the umbrella business stuff, and like the FQ and value tracking needs to be improved. And then we have some things that are like, you know, still need to consider and do, but not as important. So we'll figure out how we deal with our goals, but we really do need to focus on a smaller subset of these top 9 priorities and try to get those done really well. And then, you know, that will help shape everything else to be more effective. All right, so now we're going to go into understanding the types of work and positions. So types of work and positions.
Notes are being taken, right, guys?
Yeah, you guys can take notes on both sets of documents right now if you want.
Oh.
So the first thing to understand is the types of positions. We have 4 types of positions. Or not types of positions, types of work. So this is all the types of work. So we all know about responsibilities. Does anyone want to give a quick, you know, what is a responsibility?
You want me, James, you got that, or you want me to grab it? Or Eileen or somebody? What's your responsibility?
Responsibilities like updating the payroll worksheet.
I know that would be a task.
Thank you. All right, I'll take it, I guess. Responsibility, if you accept the responsibility, it means you're going to not do the work yourself, but you're going to oversee and make sure that all the work gets done for one specific thing from the beginning all the way through until it's done and deliverable.
Okay.
Okay, that you can do, that you don't have to do it all yourself, but that you will make sure that it gets done.
Yeah, so for the example with the payroll stuff, it's actually finishing and completing payroll and getting it all distributed and having the money distributed and everyone receiving their money. That's the responsibility of payroll. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So generally speaking, responsibilities, everybody should understand responsibilities. It means having output, actually getting something accomplished for the specific component that you're responsible for. The other types of work we haven't spent a lot of time on, and that's about to change. There's positions. Positions are a little different from responsibilities because positions are something that an actual individual or group of people take on, and it's you know, you're responsible for the position, but the position itself is a subset of multiple different types of responsibilities that all relate to each other. Then you have processes and systems. I explained earlier the difference between a process and a system. I should just pull up the definition because I thought it was pretty helpful. All right. Is this it? Systems accomplish a specific goal, typically takes the updated system machine output for activity. Boy, where is it? Maybe I didn't write it down. I thought I wrote it down. Did I not write it down? All right, we'll just do it again. So basically, a system is a you know, achieving a goal, an overall goal. And a process is, you know, one step or sub part of achieving a goal. So typically, a goal in a system requires many processes to complete, right? To complete an overall goal. So we have lots of systems, and processes are all parts of systems, but processes are really interesting because a single process can be implemented into multiple different systems, right? So that's why we subset processes distinct from systems, because they can exist in multiple systems. And then also processes and systems can be overlapping with different types of responsibilities. So a single system can have many different types of responsibilities, and it's the same with true with this process. A process can overlap with different responsibilities. So systems and processes are technically separate from responsibilities, but everything is a responsibility if you think about it, right? All positions are a type of responsibility, all systems are types of responsibilities, and all processes are types of responsibilities. So in the end, you know, knowing about responsibilities is really important, but having all four of these and understanding all four of them and having all four of these happening simultaneously is essential to being organized. Are there any questions about the four types of work that we do as a network?
No, for me, that's all.
All right, cool, that's awesome. All right, so then we're gonna go into the positions now. So with a bunch of positions, like there's probably hundreds of possible positions, but these are the priority positions that we are putting above everything else. So here are positions that are part of the network, right? So there's the general support associate. This is what everyone currently has. Are there any questions about the general support associate? Basically helping the overall priorities, right? Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes, yes.
The only other position we have is the local headquarters support associate, right? It's a very different position, right? The local headquarters support associate is not involved in decision making. They're not involved in like global organizing. They're just doing local paperwork, and they help out with local fundraising and events where we bring in money. So it's a very important position, but it doesn't focus on anything globally. It's only local. Okay. The senior quintet managers, we're going to go over that in detail, but that's a key important position. And then there's also the global co-chairs. Then you have the branch directors, the project coordinators, and the responsibility co-coordinators, responsibility organizers, co-coordinators/directors. So everybody understand responsibility organizing?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So we're going to come back to the responsibility organizing. And this part right here is going to be the most important part that we're going to focus on. Just really quickly, the other positions are organizational company managers, right? Every single organization and company has its own manager. And then also you have client managers. So when I just talked about these client positions, right? These are all of our primary client positions currently. There may be a couple other ones that we're getting paid for. So these are client categories / managers. So eggs is a special situation where we have an overall manager, which for now is going to be me. Or that's what I would propose. That would start being me. And then we have all these sub managers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because each of these are actually their own individual agreement and contract with our client. And then the liaison is another position, but that's pretty simple. Then we have the other personal taxes and other manager positions for VZ, Anya, and Jorge. And the only other one.
I'll probably end up taking.
Yeah. Which one, Steve? Are you interested in?
The taxes, of course.
Okay, so Steve.
I end up doing them with you anyway. I can do myself if you're not there. I mean, so I might as well just take it down, you know.
Yeah, and again, some of these are more than just taxes, personal taxes, and other support. Right? They're basically other things. But the key thing to understand about.
I know, Jay. I know.
Yeah, but going back to this highlighted part. If someone can just give like a little introduction to what responsibility organizing is, like the essence of responsibility organizing.
Is there somebody besides you who can answer that, please? James?
Responsibility organizing
Okay,
is making sure
Lucy's gonna do it.
all responsibilities are having the link. We can also all responsibilities, we link the link that we have. For example, now we have a section. Whatever we discuss, we go back to our responsibilities organizing, we check every responsibility. We link specific videos.
No,
And making sure that things are going in order.
Lucy. So you're talking about all of the tasks, right? There's a lot of tasks that go into doing responsibly organizing, but it's not the purpose. Why are you doing all of that?
Let me.
Wait. Let's give Lucy one more chance. Let's give her one more chance.
It's easier when we have a responsibilities organizing. It is easier for someone to go there and check to see what he or she understands from the list when the responsibilities are well organized.
Yeah, so that's getting really close. So it's easier for someone to go and see the information to understand what to do to accomplish the responsibility, right? So do you want to add to that, Steve?
All right, the responsibility organizer, again, doesn't necessarily know how to do it all, but what the responsibility organizer does is as tasks are handed out, the responsibility organizer makes sure that those tasks get completed by the people who said they would do them, so that we have the necessary stuff to do the final outcome, the deliverable. The responsibility organizer makes sure that everybody who said they're going to do part of that responsibility gets it done.
Well, I think these are all parts of it. The most important thing here is that the responsibility organizer doesn't necessarily need to know how to do it, right? And also, if the responsibility is not getting done and no one signed up for it to help do the tasks, then they just need to make sure that it's getting prioritized, right? So if it's getting prioritized, that means you're bringing it up in meetings, you're bringing it up in buddy teams, you're telling people about it, you're asking for more training, you're asking for people to take it on if you don't know how to do it, and then over time it'll get done, right? So I think that's pretty much all we have to say about responsibility organizing. But the key thing again is that you don't necessarily need to know how to do it. There's some really bad background noise right now. Maybe that's you, Steve.
No, it's not me. I'm on the phone. I'm on my computer, so it's not me recording either.
Let's see who it is. We'll figure it out. It looks like it's Aline. Aline, can you mute your mic, please? Aline, are you there?
Okay, yes, I'm still here.
Yeah, if you could just mute your mic, that'd be great. Arlene, can you mute, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, just push like the mute button like this. All right, well, at least it's quieter. Okay, so what I was trying to, so what I was trying to say here is that it doesn't necessarily, you don't necessarily have to know what to do to be a responsibility organizer, and like Lucy was saying, you have a link, you have a part of a doc, or you create a doc, and you list the information of what is known about the actual responsibility and where to find more information, for example, like videos and or notes from different sessions. So anyways, the point is that there's a lot of things that can be done to help organize the responsibility without necessarily knowing it. Project coordinators do very similar thing, right? This is more of like an oversight, where project oversight, where you help organize the project so that people can find the right information. And the same can be true with the branch co-coordinators. This is also an oversight position as well. So if you're taking on oversight roles, you don't necessarily need to know how to do everything. You're just helping organize it. Okay, so are there any other questions about that?
No.
So now what we want to do is go through the manager positions and understand that these types of positions, like organizational company managers, client managers, they're roles that can be taken on where you don't necessarily need to know exactly everything about what's going on, but you just need to help organize the information, and then slowly over time you can get more involved in it. So let me just pull up what we took notes on before. I have something here, didn't I? Yeah, this is it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to go over is the client manager position. And do it right here. So the client manager position organizes all the information regarding the client, right? So in Exa's case, the overall client manager is going to be organizing everything. We tried to hand this off to other people and they weren't able to do it. So I'm going to hold on to that position for now. I think is the best. But then the subparts can all be given to individuals. Steve?
I just, when you said that, I wanted it on the screen, but go ahead.
Well, these are all positions that need to be approved. These are all positions that need to be approved, but we want people to sign up for all of them. We're also talking about Jorge doing the liaison position. And there's a couple other people who are interested in some of this stuff. Maybe, you know, finance, maybe Steve could be good for this as well.
Yeah, of course.
So the client manager position organizes all the information regarding the client, or in Exa's case, the agreement, the sub-agreement, right? The sub-agreement or sub-client category. From there, you would clearly define the projects, the responsibilities, and if you want to get down to the task level, you can, but that's a lot usually for all these things. To make sure that every client, what do you call these things? Focus or whatever, has a liaison. So the client manager doesn't liaison with the client. The client manager is just helping organize and coordinate it all. Like every client needs its own doc, right? So a client's kind of like an organization. So they all have their own doc where you would organize all this information. Are there any questions about this?
No?
Okay. You technically can have, you know, co-managers, or you could have backup managers, which is a good thing to do. So for example, over here we have Lucy, Albina, and Steve. So we want to choose one to be, you know, the main finance manager, and then we could have backup managers and sub-managers. Okay, so let's do the ones that don't have anyone. Exa general operations. Exa coordination, executive support, etc.
Me.
Well, Steve, you can't do everything. It would be ideal if everyone only took on one, but
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we know what that's like.
yeah.
I'll be back in a second. I have to go to the men's room. That way I can't take on any more of them.
Okay.
Yeah. James?
I would like to assist him with the taxes.
With the taxes. Okay, again, there's not taxes. Taxes is not good. This is
personal taxes and other support.
This is other clients, right? Other clients. Paid clients. Other clients related to Exa. Other paid clients. This would be like Blas. No, this is Luis Blas. So you were saying you want to do all three of these?
Yes, all three of them.
And James, I also put you on governance, like legal and governance, because you said you were interested in that.
Yes.
I will also have James on legal governance.
Nice. All right.
I'm back.
I think Jorge or possibly even Nelly could be good with this. Some of the value tracking. So the only one we really need right now is general operations.
And what's the role of that general operations? Can you explain to that?
So basically, it's kind of cool. It's like, have you ever heard of a general contractor for building like a building or like a high-rise or whatever?
Yeah.
So the idea of a general operations contractor is kind of like, we don't know what's going to be needed, but we'll have a budget and we can basically utilize that budget for whatever comes our way. So it's kind of like a temporary contracting where we can either outsource or do it ourselves, and then whatever needs to be done, we just get it done as quickly as possible for the client.
Okay.
Are you interested in that, Thomas?
Yeah, I'm interested in that.
All right. Cool. All right. So anyways, if you guys want to spend additional time, we can actually finalize these positions, or we could think about it a little bit more and finalize it later. It would be good possibly to finalize it now and just do it, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, boys, I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to stay awake, so we might want to do this.
So maybe we should just do it later, and finalize it
You
later then.
You can finalize this one, sure. If people look at that.
No, let's finalize it. That way it's done. I got another half an hour in me. Come on. Let's get it done. It's like
I think it's good that we can finalize on it.
Okay, but we have a lot of other things to get through besides this.
Yes, we do. I'll stick it out. Don't worry. I'm good. I'm good for another little while.
Okay, the main problem here is that we're missing a lot of people like Jorge and Nelly and plenty of other people who might be able to help out with some of these things. So, but as far as like on the global level, we could see we can work out. So are you guys, so the first proposal would be me being the overall manager for
any dissent? Is there any dissent?
Okay.
Ask for no dissent.
Okay, that's one. And for now, it's good. Hopefully, eventually we can.
Somebody please put this in the notes.
It
I
is in the
both
notes.
hangouts are voting, and that it passes with no dissent.
Yeah. Okay, so documentations, EXA documentations. I have Abdul.
Jay, also you have to include Zilu even if he's not here.
I know Zilu's
think
not
you also
here, but
talked about
on
EXA.
documentations. Are you talking?
I would think so, yeah.
Okay. So I would actually, between Zilu and Abdul, I would put Zilu on it. But what do you guys think?
All right. I have no problem with that.
So are there any objections to Zilu for EXA documentations?
No.
Okay.
No.
Cool. So that
We don't need an answer. If there's no dissent, please don't say anything.
All right, EXA finances. Obviously, I think Steve is the most qualified to do the EXA finances.
Yes.
So is there any dissent on that? Any
I
objections?
clearly love Lucy not being there to help me. That's all I know. They're good. I love Lucy not being there to help me.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Lucy and Albina are definitely helping. Yeah, for sure. We need all the help we can get on all this stuff, but Steve would be like the main point person. Any objections?
Right.
Okay, that
No.
looks good. EXA legal, James, Thomas, it's up to you guys. You guys have to choose one. So you'll be a buddy team working out together, but one of you guys needs to be the point person for the short term.
Okay.
So which one? Any suggestions?
I would suggest James because he has experience on that.
Okay, not a lot, but obviously I'll be helping with you guys too because I'm going to be helping with everything, right? Because I'm the overall manager, but the person who's the overall manager is not allowed to also be one of the other sub-managers. So are there any objections to James? Okay, EXA value tracking. I like the idea of, let's skip EXA value tracking and see. Well, actually, we don't have Lucy anywhere else, do we? Huh, interesting. Okay.
I'd love to give that. I'd love to give that to Jorge. I mean.
Okay.
He does it every day, just about.
Yeah, he's the best on that. Okay, so Jorge for value tracking, for exit value tracking.
Yes.
Everyone's okay on that? All right. So EXA general operations contracting. We have Thomas. Is anyone objections to Thomas?
Nope.
All right. So EXA coordination. We have Steve. I actually think that EXA coordination would be really good for someone who wants to help out more with the online voting. You know, in the voting forms, because that would be a really good thing working with all the proposals and stuff. And I know there was a lot of people who signed up for that earlier today. Is there anyone else who's
if somebody else wants it, I'll give it to them happily.
All right, let's just do Steve for now. Maybe we might change that in the future.
Right.
So
I'd love to get rid of one of them. You know me.
Okay, and then as far as the EXA liaison, we're proposing Jorge, and this would end Nelly as EXA liaison. So currently the EXA liaison is Nelly, and so the proposal is to make Jorge the EXA liaison and not have Nelly be EXA liaison. Is that okay for people, or what do you guys think?
Yeah, well, I know the reasoning for it, so I think it's very okay.
All right, no objections? All right, so that looks good. Okay, so then other clients, BZ, Anya, Jorge. I would say for V and Z, we could put, I don't know. What do you guys think for these? I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm down for them, so I'll do it. I mean, it's not a lot of work.
Well, I mean,
it is. But you know what I mean. You know what
Anya,
I mean.
Anya's the only one that's minor. This is not just personal taxes. It's a lot more than that.
I know. I did the whole VZ last time. I know that, and I will gladly do it if nobody else wants.
Steve already has 2. James has 1. So let's let James choose one of these. So there's V and Z, Anya, and Jorge. Which one do you want to do, James?
I think I'll do Anya.
Anya's a good one to choose because it's the easiest. Because she is going to be done. All right. So Anya's over after the taxes, whereas everyone else just keeps going. So Steve, you're going to do the other 2, okay?
Yep.
All right. Cool. All right. So again, the client.
Jake, just sorry for that.
What?
I would still want to assist Steve with the
of course.
coordination.
Yeah, everyone's going to be helping with all this stuff. I mean, again, remember that the role of an overall of a manager, a client manager, is like every single client could have 20 different responsibilities involved in it. So that could mean 20 other people involved. You're just trying to make sure that everything that the needs of the client are met. And so therefore you have to know all 20 different things that are going on and be able to issue all of them to happen. Okay?
Okay.
Lucy, I would love to give you my uncle Luis Cabrera. He pays us a very small amount of money, but he is the only other paying client we have at this moment. So I would, if you want to do this one, it's a website. Lucy, do you want to do this one?
Okay, what's it all about? Website?
Well, it's Luis Blas Cabrera. He's a physicist.com. I don't even know if it's still up right now, but we need to jump on it and get it in better shape. Let's see if it's still working. Yeah, there it is. So he's an architect. He's an environmental expert. He has a book that he sells. So we could help him out a bunch in the future, okay? And he pays us about, we have like a $200, $300 budget. Not a lot of money, but yeah.
I would also want to assist Lucy that because I have a little information on website design.
Cool. Great. All right. All right. So anyways, we'll have more clients. There's a whole bunch of other possibilities, but you know, we're not there. These are at least the ones that we know we have to do. It's really good, and from there it goes into investor relations. So let's just note here that investor relations is like the next level. That's where all the new clients come in. Who would be interested in helping with investor relations? I know we've talked about this before, but if someone can remind me.
We talked about it more than once.
Of course. I'm just trying to remind myself of who is helping out with this. Nelly. Anyone else?
It was Nelly, Angelina, and me, but we don't have Angelina anymore, so I guess the three of us will do it.
I also.
James?
Yeah, James also signed up for that. Yeah, James also signed up for that.
Okay, anyone else going once, going twice? All right, we're fine. So anyways, what we need to get...
Can I say one thing to all the new people? The only way to get to level 4 is to learn responsibilities, and these are all responsibilities. So think about, taking someone if you think you can handle it.
Yeah. And so, I mean, investor relations or responsibility, all of these other positions that we just put out, and the reason why that we have to approve them as opposed to just dish them out is because they're not just responsibilities, they're positions, right? So as a position, it's a slightly different type of role. So anyways, these client manager positions, we want to index all this information, index the client manager positions, and we want to create a new doc. We don't currently have that. So if someone can do that, that would be great. Maybe Abdul, you're really good at that. All right, so are we ready to move on?
Yes, I think so.
All right, cool. And again, it's your responsibility to make sure every single one of these client manager positions has its own doc, right? So this is every client needs its own doc. Some of these already have it. Some of them don't. It's fine to make a new one. Yeah, we just have to make them all, okay? All right.
Okay.
So next.
Can I ask about investor relations? What usually is being done there?
Well, investor relations should have a doc that we can link to. Let's see here. So investor relations is where we get new clients. It's where we get investors. It's where we bring in all of our recruitment. So recruitment's also part of investor relations because we're asking everyone to invest in the future of society. But relating to clients, we have at least 10 potential clients that could come in if we put effort into it. And multiple investors. We have lists of investors that potentially would invest money in the work that we're doing. What kind of other information do you want?
Like how we can do it, How can we do it?
Well, I'm not going to answer
like
how we can do it. But it's like if you want to do it, then I would even consider answering that question. So unless there's interest in doing it, there's no reason for me to train you or anyone else on how to do investor relations unless you want to do it. Does that make sense? So the first thing is wanting to do it and signing up for it, and then prioritizing it, right? So these are the steps for any type of training. One is say you want to do it, then you want to sign up for it, then you want to prioritize it, get it on agendas and meetings, get it on in buddy teams, and then learn over time, right? So do you see what I'm saying here, Aline?
Yeah.
So if you don't have interest in investor relations, we're not gonna train you in it, right? We're only gonna train people who are interested in investor relations and sign up for it and then prioritize it. If you look at our desired outcomes for today and our list of agenda items, investor relations is not on it. So we're not gonna spend a bunch of time on it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So if somebody had prioritized investor relations, then we would talk about it, but no one did. So, and investor relations is the only place where we bring in more money. So if people want jobs and want to make money in the future, unless we prioritize investor relations, these positions aren't going to last. It's all temporary. Does that make sense? So it's very important to prioritize investor relations if people want more work and want to make more money. So any other But like, are you interested in signing up for investor relations, Eileen, or not?
Okay, I'll do that.
You'll do it.
Okay.
So yeah, so just keep pushing it and prioritizing it, and we'll get to it over time.
Okay.
And it's let's look at our priorities here. So I mean, because we have enough money coming in with our current client, we can allow investor relations to slip into this middle category here. So we can get by without doing investor relations for a little while and try to really get these top 9 things organized really, really well, so that when we do bring more clients in and we do have more investors, that we're organized and ready to go. Because right now we're still kind of a mess. All right, what's next? The senior manager position, right? Are we ready to move on?
Yep.
Okay, so now we're gonna go to what I think is one of the second most exciting thing that we're doing today. Possibly the most exciting.
Sorry, but this is like the 3rd time or the 4th time I'm hearing it today.
All right, so the other one that I'm really excited about is this one that's in yellow, the systems for buddy team coordination. I don't even know if we're gonna get there. I mean, it already is 4 a.m. and it's just, or not 4 a.m. Well, it's 4 a.m. America's time. And for Steve, I can't even imagine.
5:54 in the morning.
Jeez.
And basically, I've been working since 3 o'clock with a 2-hour break.
You got to take breaks, Steve.
I do. I take an hour here, an hour there.
Okay, good.
I'm trying to take a nap, but that woke me up.
Yeah, seriously. Okay, so the quintent position. So what's really exciting about this particular topic is that this is actually what we do. So is it anyone here their first time to the steering team? Eileen, is this your first time to the steering team?
Testing.
So the purpose of the steering team, purpose of steering team, which meets on the quarter moons, is to, oh, and James, you should link this doc here so it's linked here so we all have it. So the purpose of the steering team.
Hang on, please.
What's up?
And somebody put the doc you're writing on up, please.
The doc I'm writing on is linked at the top of the other doc as well, right here.
All right. Thank
Duplicate
you.
notes.
Thank you.
Okay, so for the quintent senior manager position, the purpose of the steering team is to coordinate between all of the global teams. Right, so right now we can go through the global teams. We have East Pacific, which is me. We have Australasia, which is none. We don't have anyone from Australasia, right? Central Asia is Asif and Abdul. And then we have Eurafrica is Lucy and James and others. We all think that Eurafrica is going to be the first active functional quintent.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I believe it's from Eurasia, and she was under the impression that the Sonic was our main meeting. So
Who?
I let her know.
Who? Eileen, where do you live right now?
Philippines.
Philippines.
Okay, great. Okay, so we do have someone from Australia. This is great. Eileen.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we talked about that earlier today. I couldn't remember if we had 0 or 1, but yeah, you're our one person from Australia. So we have the 5 quintents represented at the steering team. I think this is the first time we've had all 5 quintents of the entire world represented at the same time. So it's very exciting. Okay.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, that's great, right? So basically the purpose of the steering team is to organize between the 5 quintets. Each quintet has a senior manager position. They're approved through an election. And we're going to go through this position and to pretty good detail and make sure that everyone understands it and is able to move forward with that position. Okay?
Yep.
Okay.
Am I missing anything? No, I think we're good. So, senior manager position. So I already went through how the position is selected. It's selected from the global elections. The highest ranked people basically take it on, and it's controlled and accountable to the public. So the public gets to elect the position. But there's a couple things. One is that you do need to become level 4. So that's important. And 2, you have to attend full new moon and make sure your quintet is represented at steering team meetings, which is the quarter moons. Okay. So if you don't meet those criteria of basically attending these meetings, which is why it doesn't matter who won the elections, these are the people who are basically in line to be senior managers, regardless of who wins the elections, because if you're not attending the meetings, you're just not applicable to be a senior manager. All right. So does anyone have any questions on how the senior manager positions are selected? Hey, James. Hey, James. Are you there?
Jay?
You're gonna have to choose another password because we just did that publicly over the entire airwaves. So next time you're gonna send a password. We need to go through password stuff. Like do we have this on our next steps here? Let me see. Let's see if it's on there. Major distance, no, see it. So we want to add passwords, and security. Passwords, P codes, passcodes, and security.
Password security.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. So anyways, it's perfectly fine, but just remember that you're gonna need to change that password because it just was broadcast onto YouTube. Okay. Okay. Okay, James.
Yes.
Okay. Are there any questions on how the senior manager position is selected? The senior quintet manager position has 3 parts. The first part is coordination. What's great about this part is that it can be done before the shifts take place, and anyone can do this and help do the coordinate within your quintet. The second part is global organizing, which we're doing right now by being on this call and in attending full new moon sessions. And then the third one is the senior manager shifts. So the shifts is where it gets us to, like the whole goal is to be functional 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. And these are the shifts, and the senior managers are going to be passing the baton off indefinitely across the whole world, okay? So the quintet coordination is about helping coordinate quintet sessions, especially main weekly sessions. So as a senior manager, not only are you responsible for attending global sessions, but you also have to attend and support and organize your main weekly session of your quintet. So for example, the Central Asia, Asif and Abdul have been talking, and they're really excited about starting their Central Asia quintet main weekly session. And it's the only one of the 5 that currently is not scheduled and happening. So that's very exciting. Once the Central Asia quintet starts happening regularly, it will definitely improve upon our global organizing. Are there any, oh, and then you want to make sure that your quintet is staffed and functional. So this would obviously include recruitment. Okay. So if you need more people in your quintet, you need to do recruitment. The only quintet right now that is even close to being functional without recruitment is your Africa. So your Africa is pretty much ready to go into the senior manager shifts and actually start getting functional. It's really close. Any questions about the quintet coordination summary?
No.
All right, global organizing. So all the senior managers need to participate in the global organizing for the new and full moon sessions, and ensure that your quintet is represented at quarter moon sessions for the global steering team. So basically, if every single quintet has 2 people during full and new moons, both of those people should be present, even if it's the middle of the night, right? But for quarter moon sessions for the global steering team, it is not required to have both members. You only need one. And if both of them can't make it, you're technically required to send a representative. So anybody from your quintet can represent and vote for your quintet at the steering team if the senior managers aren't able to make it. Are there any questions about the global organizing?
No.
Okay. So then the last part is the senior manager shifts, which is basically take on the 6-hour senior manager shifts 3 to 4 days per week. This is the hardest part. It's an additional 20 hours of work. So this is a 20-hour part-time work. So the senior managers are responsible for all 3 of these things, but we can get started without taking on the 6-hour shifts. But once you get like this is basically what activates your quintet. Activate your quintet. And our hope is that your Africa could be the first activated quintet, hopefully sooner than later. Are there any other questions about the senior manager shifts? Okay, so these are the 3 primary areas of work of the senior manager positions. Are there any other questions in general about the position as a general whole, the whole thing?
I don't have a question.
Okay, so I mean, this is like the 3rd or 4th time that we've gone over it, but this is the most detail I've ever given anyone, and this is all stuff we worked out to really create a more complete position. So let's briefly go through some more details on this, and then but I'm going to go through it really quickly, okay? Or we could skip the details, but I think it's good to go through the details. All right, so the first thing is that the quintet coordination, you're attending weekly main sessions, you're coordinating weekly main sessions. You need to schedule a regular check-in with the other senior quintet manager, right? This typically would happen through the overlap of the shifts. I'll show you how that works later. Make sure that you're announcing and reminding people about your main weekly session. A lot of main weekly sessions are not announced, and they need to be announced. And we're going to be announcing them publicly, as the public will be invited to attend. Making sure that auto reminders are working, Google Calendar is working, right? You're responsible for your own quintet's main weekly session. Help establish weekly goals, output deliverables, and schedules for all the buddy teams, etc. for your quintet. Help ensure that individuals know their buddy team work schedules and that buddy teams are attended. Attend full and new moon sessions. Help make sure the quintet participate in quintet senior manager election. So you want your quintet and all the people involved in your quintet and the public that you represent of your quintet to engage in the election. So part of the role of the senior manager position is to actively engage the membership to participate in the elections. Okay. Any questions about the coordination details?
No.
So global organizing, attend the new moon, all that stuff we already talked about. Participate in online voting, decision making. So a lot of decisions will also be online, even if you don't attend the sessions, and you're still requested to vote on all the online decision makings, and we're going to get a lot better on online forums. You know, we could even start practicing every single decision that we made today should technically go onto an online forum and should be distributed through the entire membership so that everyone can vote if they chose to vote. So the people who signed up for the coordination stuff and all the online voting, if someone wanted to volunteer today to take on creating a voting form, I could even show you how to do that. That would be really important.
I can volunteer for that.
Okay, great. So James, all you have to do is create so whoever's the master document updater would be documenting the decisions doc. So there's supposed to be a decisions doc for the global steering team. That decisions doc would have all of the decisions we made for today, and then you put those all into a form. You just create a Google form, put all the decisions that were made, and then allow people to vote on them on the form. Does that make sense, James?
Yes.
Yeah, that's all it's required, and we would do that for every meeting. Prioritizing
Question.
goals. Yeah.
Yes. Speaking about decisions, and I don't want to let it go because I didn't. Did you vote on the Nelly question?
No.
All right, neither did we. All right.
But we actually did. We didn't vote on her level, but we did already.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You answered the question. That's fine.
Cool. So moving on with the global organizing, attending other global and planetary sessions as able. Obviously, senior managers are not required as part of the global organizing to attend all of the bigger sessions, but obviously the planetary sessions and the other global sessions are more important than the full and new moon sessions. If you're able to come, it's great. But, you know, and also encourage other people from your quintet to come. Then the last one here is to participate in the global co-chair elections. We're going to be talking about the global co-chair elections later, but that's another position, is the co-chairs. But we do want to start doing that. Let me pull up. Actually, can someone just pull up the link to the HR rankings and link it to where we are in the agenda right now, just like right here, HR rankings, or just like personnel rankings. I want to look at the election rankings because we're going to talk about the co-chair position and see if we can get some co-chairs, because that would be really helpful. So most likely the co-chairs could just be from the direct elections, but ideally we all agree to it as well as the senior managers. All right, any questions about the global organizing?
No.
Okay, so the senior manager shifts. The shift times are listed here. There's 5. Each one lasts for 4.8 hours, and each shift is 6 hours total. So the total time of every shift is described in detail right here. Basically, you have about an hour and a half. It's actually technically 1.2 hours of senior manager overlap between the sessions of where you actually pass the baton. And this clearly lays all that out. I'm not going to go over it in details, but it's a 6-hour shift. So the actual quintet lasts for 4.8 hours, but your shift lasts for 6 hours. So there's an hour and 1.2 hours on either side where you overlap with the next quintet, and that allows you to work together and pass off the baton, which is why we do 5 quintets. Otherwise, if we just did 4 quadrants, there would be no overlap and there would be no communication between them, which would be a problem. So that's one of the main reasons why we do the quintets. The other thing to understand is that during the first part of the senior manager shift, you're not the senior manager. You're just there to support the existing senior manager and get the information from them. And it isn't until your exact start time that you become the senior manager, at which point you are the official sole, like highest level decision maker across the entire global network, right? So what that means...
Jay, you have 5 minutes on that, please.
Yeah. Say again?
You have 5 minutes on that topic.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we're almost done. So I just want to emphasize the importance of when you become the senior manager position. Let's say you're in Central Asia, right? And you're the senior manager of that particular day. You have full legal decision-making control over the entire global network for emergency decisions, right? That means firing people, hiring people, dealing with like budget things, dealing with whatever needs to be done in the moment, talking to the press, dealing with emergencies, whatever happens. You do not have to call the United States or myself or whoever in the middle of the night to make a decision. You can make a decision directly yourself. You're fully empowered to do that as a senior manager during your shift. So I don't know how to explain it any more than that, but obviously as soon as your shift ends and the next senior manager takes over, they can overturn anything and everything you did as an emergency basis. You're only the decision maker during your shift, and then everything that is made as a decision by a senior manager always goes back to the steering team and will be reviewed by the entire steering team and can be reversed as well. So the schedule is as such. The first day would be 4 hours because you'd be overlapping with your other senior manager from your quintet. Day 2 and day 3, you would actually do the full 6 hours. So it's only 2 days that you have to do this. And then you do a half day for day 4, and it's 20 hours total per week about. And if you look at a 7-day cycle, the first day would be overlap between manager A and B. Then day 2 and 3 would be manager A. Day 4 would be manager A and B overlapped. And then day 5 and day 6 would be manager B. And then day 1 again would be manager A and B. So it's a 6-day cycle, but over the week you're doing 2 to 3 full days a week. And so we do this to try to break it up. It's a 20-hour position, so then you can put an additional 10, 20 hours into other work and tasks and other global sessions as needed. But it is a lot. It's a substantial position, and we do have an additional up to $250 per position on top of what you're already making so that you can work additional hours. So any other questions about the senior manager position?
Did somebody get the voting back to link it so take a look at it?
Sorry, say it one more time. To do what? What link what?
You asked somebody to get the doc that had the elections on it.
Yeah, here's the elections. So I wanted to talk about the next thing was going to be the co-chairs. So if there's no more questions about the senior manager position, I'm going to talk about the co-chairs. So for the co-chairs, ideally, the public would elect the co-chairs. So ideally, the public would elect the co-chairs directly, but the senior managers have a direct say in their co-chairs because the co-chairs are the co-chairs of the senior manager steering team. They're the co-chairs of the steering team. So if you look at our rankings, this would be the rankings for the elections. And by the way, these are the old rankings. This is nowhere close to what we're looking for. So let's go to personnel support. So you gave us rankings from 2 or 3 months ago. So this is the personnel rankings doc. If wherever you got that didn't have the link to the doc, then you need to link the doc because the personnel rankings doc is what has the actual rankings. These are all old, and our current rankings are now the September, October rankings, our newest rankings. All right, so if we come over here, we go to the elections ranking. What we're going to find is the actual ranking. So right here, we typically would organize them by quintet. Oh, look, we have new people here. This is good. So Asif Razu is in Central Asia, right? Wasim was Central Asia as well. Mary. Does anyone remember Mary? Jocelyn? I think she was in Australia, but I think she's gone. Mary, I don't remember. Eileen is in Australia. So you can organize.
Mary was in Central Asia.
Central Asia, Mary?
Yes.
So you can, so first you would organize by the actual amount of points, right? This is the ranking right here. And then here's the actual ranking, right? And then you can actually go ahead and sort A to Z, and you can see the rankings for each individual one. So Australia, we have Benji and Mel and Jocelyn and Aline. So we're gonna give Aline some here because she's actually here, right? So in some ways, you know, those are the winners, but this is the person who's present. So it's like, what are you gonna do, right? Central Asia, we've got Abdul Asif, right? So this is good. Jay, Heather obviously is not present. Ellie, Isaac, Lucy, and Albina. And we have Steve, Nelly, Jorge. So there's our pretty close to, you know, winners right here. That gives us an idea of what we're looking at. If we look at the full global rankings, oops, wrong way. These would be your three co-chairs right here. So you'd have Jay, Abdul, and Lucy. So if you just went by the global rankings, right, you have 3 quintets, which is excellent. And then you have the 3 top rankings right here. And so that would be the initial proposal. So the co-chairs would be proposed as Jay, Lucy, and Abdul would be the top 3. So in that context, the position of the co-chairs is to coordinate and meet at a it's a 25% 8th moon session. 25%/75%. And then the goal is to prep and prepare and plan for the steering team on the coordinates, as well as full and new moons. So does that make sense?
Yes.
So this would be a proposal. You know, I mean, obviously we don't have to do this, but those are the top 3 positions currently, and so those would be the 3 co-chairs, the 3 co-chair positions. Are there any objections to that, or do we want to agree to that? Maybe we should do a roll call vote. Let's do a roll call vote.
I think so.
Steve, you want to vote?
I abstain.
You abstain? Any irrational context or reasons or anything?
I don't personally think that everyone on that list is capable of doing it.
True. I understand where you're coming from. So just to make sure, yeah, so just to make sure we're clear on the options, right? Because this is the first time we're talking about this. I don't even think we need to actually approve this right now, unless people really want to. But the options are either to do the public ranking and vote on that. 2, and remember, our goal is always to strive towards supportive consensus. So that's always our goal, is to strive towards sort of consensus. So we should talk more about our decision making at some point. Strive. Now, there's another next step. Someone could add it to the next steps. Next steps are decision-making model. Public ranking of vote. Then we could just do another additional set of voting just internally within the steering team. You could also have additional set of, yeah, I think that's right. Or you could have additional set of voting just for the senior managers. I think those are the three options for electing the co-chairs. So ideally, all three of these options would align. That's the goal, is that the public vote, the internal steering team vote, and the senior managers all agree 100% on the same co-chairs. So does anyone disagree with the idea that let's just, this is the first time we've even tipped the iceberg on this. Why don't we just like put this as a next step for next time, okay?
Yeah, I think that would be the
next step would be co-chairs, okay? Because we're not in a hurry on that. I don't think we need to push it. So I think we're done with all of this stuff. What I would propose right now, unless are there any questions on any of the other positions and all this stuff, because this is a huge download of a lot of information, but super important because it's going to redefine everything moving forward, not just responsibilities, but also positions, as well as processes and systems. So things are going to start changing. And what I would propose right now is we do these two proposals, and then we check out, and we can leave all the buddy team coordination stuff, my favorite stuff, until next time. But, you know, it's really late.
Jay?
What?
Jay, you haven't proposed mine or it's done?
What's yours?
My pay.
Your pay was passed for the previous budget.
Okay.
Yeah, you're at $550 a month now.
I know.
Which is still like a quarter of what you really need, but you know,
yep.
Or at least half. So cool. So are we good on moving forward on the proposals here?
Yep.
So I would propose that we do these two proposals in separate groups because it'll be very easy to do that, and the proposals are pretty straightforward. The first proposal is basically that Asif's pay, that he should be paid for his humanitarian work only if he documents it, and updates it. The second proposal is the tax forms. Basically, you have 1 month to get your tax forms in. If you don't, then you won't be getting paid. Every worker gets 1 month to turn in their tax forms, right? So those are the proposals. Sound good? Any other?
Yes, they sound good to me.
Okay, so let's split up into the two teams. Let's finish up those two proposals, and then let's go ahead and check out, and then we're done. And we're going to check out in our separate teams, okay?
All right.
All right, thanks everybody for listening to all this stuff. I think it's really helpful, and I'm super excited that everybody's even considering taking on these ridiculous global positions, which are going to be a lot. So, but I think it's going to be really good for the world. So let's, I'm going to cut us apart. Okay. Any last question for me before I go?
I don't think I have.
Okay, bye. Okay, guys. So who wants to start voting on Asif's proposal? That would be the first one. Any questions about the proposal?
No, I don't have any question, Jay.
For me, no question.
Does everyone understand the proposal?
Yes.
What is that? Don't please. So this is Joyce. Jay, don't forget to send mine too, please. So who is Joyce? Is Joyce here right now?
No, she's in another group.
She's in the other group, the secondary hangout.
Oh, so Joyce is here. So Joyce and Alina are both here. And where is Joyce right now? Where does she live?
Where does she live? In Egypt.
Oh, she wants to get paid. Oh, okay. Please remind us and prioritize it tomorrow. We need to get everyone paid. So by prioritizing payroll for everyone, that will get you paid as well. All right, so proposals. So Asif's pay. So the idea is that Asif's catchable holidays in the next 3 days, EDID, I don't know what that means. Okay. So any questions about Asif's pay?
No.
No question.
All right, well, let's go ahead and vote. So, Lucy,
Albina.
And
For me, I vote yes.
is that Albina or Lucy?
Yeah. Albina.
That was Albina. And Lucy, you vote yeah? Thomas?
Yes.
I vote yes.
And Asif? I think Asif's sleeping. Anyways, it passes. It passes by agreement. I was curious who was sleeping, but I have a feeling in the future we're going to hear a lot more of that when all these like middle of the night meetings. It's so crazy. Okay, so next proposal. I think he's going to be very happy. Hopefully he does document all his amazing humanitarian work he's doing in the floods, because like thousands of people are dying and like tens of millions of people are losing their homes. It's insane. Global warming, guys, it's out of control. Who knows what's going on? All right, so the next one is the tax forms needing to be turned in the next month. Does anyone have a question about the tax forms? Does everyone understand the proposal?
Can you explain us a little bit about the tax form proposal?
Okay, well, let's start with the link. Where no, we're gonna keep laughing forever. All right, so where would the link be for the tax form? I think it would be under personnel. So we go to personnel support and look at taxes. Find taxes. Here we go. So these are the tax and form instructions. Although it might be the wrong tax and form instructions. Is this for exit? Taxes for unit content outsource for.
I think that's the one. Yeah.
I'm just gonna see if this is the has the right one. Oh no, this is the exit. This is the exit version, but it's pretty much the same thing. We'll let's see if there's another one. Wait, there might be another one. No. Okay. Anyway, so that's basically the same information, but I know there's another one that has the right information. But everybody in the world needs to fill out a statement of doing work abroad. And the W-8-B-E-N. So the statement of doing work abroad is for your pay. The W-8-B-E-N is for your equity. If you got an equity distribution from a United States company, if you get a distribution of profits, it legally has to be withheld at, I believe it's 30% or something like that to the government. Sometimes you get some of it back, but that's just the way that the legality works. So that's why you have to fill out the W-8-BEN, profits from the U.S. But your pay is basically you're doing your work abroad. Your pay, you would be responsible for your own income taxes in your own country. So every country has different tax rules and different tax laws. It's all separate. So, yeah. Any questions on how it works?
But this is the same form that we filled the last month.
Well, I mean, if you sent it to me, we need to make sure we get it from everybody. You should send the form to unitynetglobal@gmail. And I have them all right here. So if I go to FQN HR Tax Docs, I have Nelly, Jorge, and James.
What? I also send mine.
Oh, who did you guys send it? Who did you send it to?
I also send through that
In the display my email, yeah.
Yep.
All right, well, let's take a look. This is why we're all here together, is to get things done. All right, so we go to UnityNet Global. I'm going to search for Lucy. Foreign contractor statement. Oh, you have it as a doc. Interesting. Oh, wait, no. Request for access. Oh, here are tax forms. Ah, voila. All right, so this would be, wait, so this one here is Jorge, I believe. Yeah, this is Jorge. And this is Jorge as well. And then this one is James. Oh my God, no. Shoot, sorry about that. James. Okay. Okay, so then we have Lucy. And what was the other one? So Albina?
Yeah, I sent.
Albina. All right. Albina. And so we still need the statement of working abroad for you, Albina? Right, maybe this is it.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so anyone else? Thomas?
Yeah, I sent through your email.
What's your email again?
My email.
Yeah.
Thomas Nash.
Nash?
Mas, M-A-S.
I don't know. I don't see anything. I don't know. I don't see. Anyways, so we'll get it all worked out. We have all the verification for the taxes and everything. Nelly's working on it. Jorge's working on it. We'll get it done. But the point is that the proposal itself is that we need to get the tax forms in so that people can keep getting paid, so that we're protecting ourselves legally, right? It's important.
Yes.
So
for the statement, I think we linked on online profile. Was it online profile somewhere?
You should not be linking your tax forms to your online profile. You can, but they really should be internal documents and not public. So the only other thing I could think of is, like, do 2 months, and that the one month and then after 1 month is half pay. And then no pay after 2 months. Probably like another option to give a little more time. What do you guys think? think 1 month is enough, or do you think we could do 2 months, or what?
I think 2 months.
2 months, you like that?
2 months.
Okay. So let's do 2 months. Starting, no pay starting second month.
So whoever will not submit the form will not be paid.
Without a specific exception. So it would, if someone doesn't submit their tax forms, then it would be an issue, and only a full vote of the organization, of the legal organizations, right, can choose to continue to pay without tax forms. Does that make sense? So I mean, we technically could vote to keep paying someone even without their tax forms, but really we need to have a reason, like, what is the reason? What's going on? The cool thing about our tax systems is that it's all up to each individual. There's infinite different ways of organizing the taxes based on each individual's unique situation, even within the United States. So within the United States is the most strict on the taxes, because that's where we actually have to pay the taxes and do all the 1099s and everything. So anywhere else in the world, it's very flexible. So there's not much to worry about for at least the time being. But eventually there will be laws, and we'll have to do research in certain countries, and there will be certain countries that it's not legal to just directly pay people, and that we'd actually might have to hire people as employees and hire and set up companies within that country to follow the law correctly. So, well, in the short term, there's no worry about it, but in the long term, there are details that we'll have to look into. But hopefully we'll just raise more money and we'll be able to pay more people to work, So having to worry about taxes is in many ways a good thing, because it means that we're actually bringing money, right? We can pay people. So any other questions about the proposal?
Let me know.
Okay, so I vote yes. Asif, Lucy, Albina, Thomas?
Yes.
I vote yes too.
All right, and I guess Asif is still sleeping. Asif, you there?
Still sleeping.
All right, so that passes. We have agreement. Done. All right, so I think we're ready to check out. Let's start with Lucy.
Yeah, today's session was really nice. And we love this. At least we are moving forward well, and we keep on organizing tech.
Can I say one thing?
Yep.
Yes.
And then I'll check out. So Lucy, Albina, Thomas, I mean, you guys are doing an excellent job with the Eurafrica. So I'm obviously not going to be able to go to the Friday morning sessions very often. Every once in a while, I'll make them. But basically, what we want to do is we want to get 3 people from Eurafrica into level 4. So as soon as you have 3 people at level 4 from Eurafrica, you can start the quintant shifts and start doing that. So you guys are really, really close. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yes.
Cool. So I don't think we need to worry about that today during the steering team. That can happen within a normal weekly session, but let's definitely prioritize that. So you guys could potentially be getting the Eurafrica senior manager position shifts for the whole quintant going as early as as this month, right? So for September, right? Starting in the beginning of September. All right. So my checkout would be that, I think this is really good. I thought we got a lot done today. I feel like we're starting to hit like the 30-40% mark on the amount of information you guys are starting to have after a few months to really be able to get more of a grasp on what's going on. Once we really finish our recruitment, I mean, we still need to recruit a bunch of more people, especially in the Americas and locally and all that stuff. So until that happens, we're still going to be struggling. But once we get our recruitment together, our discussions and the types of meetings we have is going to change dramatically, especially after we start our public outreach and doing all of our bigger our bigger public launch. So I'm really excited. I'm really thankful for all you guys' help, and I'm really tired and ready to go to bed. So check. Albina.
Yes, for me, I'm grateful. Thank you, Jay, also. Actually, Eurafrica, we are active, and we want to learn more so that we make this group perfect. And thank you also, Jay, for spending our time. Actually, it is late for you, but you have struggled up to the end. Thank you so much, and thank you for everyone. Yes, that's my check.
I will say that that Steve, it's later for Steve. Steve's 3 hours ahead of me, so my goodness. Thomas, you want to check out? And then Thomas, you're going to go over to the other team if they're still around and check out for our whole group. And I'm going to go to bed. So check out right now, and then you're going to go over and check out again for all of us.
So for me, I'm so happy for this session. At least we have learned a lot today. It was for our first time to have double sessions. And for today, it has gone well. As a first session, it has gone well, so I'm so excited about that. So I'm also excited about the new roles that we are getting and the new point that we are. So overall, Jay, thank you for everything. Thank you for supporting us. So that's a check for me.
All right, that's it, guys. Until tomorrow. Take care.
Okay.
Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Good night.